one in particular. In fact, it's one of the issues that drove me to choose to run for supervisor, is the lack of dichotomy, if you will, or the lack of separation in the minds of the current supervisors between the concept of open space and the concept of public trails. Trails are great. My wife's a runner. I'm a biker. I like hiking. You know, I was an environmentalist. You know, I'm still an environmentalist. I love being in the woods. I love hiking. But the pressure that the township is going to come under in the coming years to build homes, residential property on farmland is going to be great. That there will be great pressure. So my perception is that our first and primary need is to try to protect as much open space as we can, because after all, that is what Kennett Township really is in the hearts and minds of the people that live here. Unfortunately, here's a good example. Recently, there was a farmer who was interested in preserving 100 acres of farmland. In fact, I've heard of another farmer now recently who wanted to protect not quite that much, but a similar amount. Well, he engaged with some conservation organizations to discuss the possibility of conserving his farmland. This, by the way, is an active working farm. And he found out that he was going to have a trails easement to allow a public trail on his working farm if he was going to preserve his land. I don't think that's right. I think that if someone wants a trail, you know, let's support them. That's great. Let's help them build a trail on a property where he wants it and the neighbors are fine with it. But if someone's willing to preserve a 100-acre farm and then says, no, I don't want a public trail, well, God bless that person for preserving that open land. Maybe, 10, 20, 50 years from now, maybe we'll be able to put a trail on that land now. But if he's willing right now to preserve that land, let's help him do that. Don't force him, because this person then backed out and said, well, I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. So now we run the risk of potentially losing that farm to development because it's not protected. So I don't think you should force people to accept something they don't want when they're trying to accomplish something good for not only themselves, but the whole community.